Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Natsukashi. I'm in room 71. It is my room Wednesday afternoons. So if we were doing face-to-face, which we are not going to do, this would be where you would be sitting. I've used this room, I can't remember how long, a long time. This room is unique in the modern engineering department rooms. Now, the second floor room in ocean civil engineering is really similar. The desks move, so I could develop active learning situations, here. And this is a pretty decent chalkboard. So today we're going to rock and roll about your first summary writing, professional writing assignment. And the first thing I'm going to do is criticize the majority of you for not knowing how to summarize. Excuse me, not knowing how to outline. So in the fall, when your kohais come to my third year ocean civil engineering English class, the first thing I will do, I will teach them how to outline. There probably are many explanations about how to outline, but this is the one that I use when I look at students' hidden work. The outline is for you, just like your mind map. Now, the outline has its tasks. I'll get to my criticism of your outlines when I open up the files, because I'm going to open up a number of files and tell you what you did good and what you did bad and how you can improve. And remember, I have it on video. You guys thumbed it up. So, okay. What is an outline? Number one, it is your guide to what is the purpose of your paper. You can't write your outline before you read the paper. So, ladies and gentlemen, you read the paper at least 2 times. Three times. Your allergy to English has to stop. Why, Larkin Sensei? Number one, 98% of the information published is in English. And of that 98%, less than 1% is translated into readable Japanese. The large language learning programs are not going to help you They'll help the next generation, but they're not going to help you. You're going to help train them, but you will be responsible for the translation mistakes. So learn to read. Ladies and gentlemen, you will be hired, you are hired into responsible positions in companies. You will write thousands of reports. You will give hundreds of presentations, and you will write millions of emails. Millions. 1,000,000,000. So you better learn to like writing. Only one of the 7 outlines I read actually showed me that the writer had read the paper before they made the outline. The others just made generic outlines, and I know they were of no help in your writing. So, just like the mind map keeps you in the topic. The outline guides you. What is your reason for writing? Number 2, it reminds you of the main elements you wish to write about. Some of your summaries are not logical. And number 3, and number 1 and number 3 are so connected. It sets the limits. So you don't waste your time. Larkin Sensei, the next topic is going to be longer. So managing your time is a key point. That's what I look for. Have you stated the purpose of your paper? Number 2, what are the key points that you want to write about in the paper? Does your outline have key points? And number 3, have you set a limit? Why do you have such a hard time writing? Because you don't set limits. You look at your open file, your open Word file, and it scares you because you don't know how to fill it. So you just put data down, and then we read Nihongo, Eigo, Kankei Nai. The process is the same. Your topic, the supporting data, your summary conclusion. Now there are, methods and materials, the results, and for a standard paper, I'm asking you to write summary papers, which should be really familiar for you. It's not, so noisy. Well, I really don't want to. You got it. I'm recording. The unedited, raw edition of your paper. Now you notice that the symbols got big because I'm shouting. You guys don't think about the reader. If you write really long paragraphs, but, no buts. Ferguson say, the writer in the article wrote that. Ah, so you copied and pasted. So many people that write were never instructed in the proper way to write. I'm an engineer hyphen scientist who has studied communication for a long time. I am an expert. Efficient written paragraphs are no longer than 5 sentences. If you have more information that you want to put in a paragraph, then you edit and you make 2 paragraphs. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So now, your first attempt at writing what you want to summarize, you don't put half of the papers that I looked at before class, the first draft and the second draft, 99% the same. Professor Larkin, I'm intelligent. So my first draft was perfect. My intuition is you waited until the last minute, or you didn't know what I wanted you to do, and you waited until the last minute to ask Saita Sensei. He told you and you panicked and you just copied and pasted from your first draft to your second draft. I'm not going to kill you. I'm trying to teach you. Because you'll have to do a lot of writing. You'll make many summaries. You came from a national university, an elite institution, and your boss will make you read the English papers and summarize in Japanese. You can't copy and paste when you're doing that. To show. So first draft, you put placeholders. Because maybe not. If you put your diagrams and your pictures in your draft, then you naturally get lost in the paragraphs. And then, now, this is key. You make a first draft and you read it, and you learn from your writing. And what you learn stimulates you to change how you wrote it. Probably not a lot, sometimes a lot. Writing is more complex than you imagine. Most of you, most of you. Maybe a few of you already understand the uniqueness of written communication. We use our bodies when we write. That means that our brain has to send signaling impulses to our hands, our arms, we receive light impulses from the reflected patterns on the chalkboard or from the file that we are making on our laptop or desktop computer on our screens. That data impinges on our eyes. Our eyes change the light impulses to electrochemical impulses that go to the visual cortex, and the visual cortex is stimulated and it sends impulses to the hippocampus and other parts of our brain, and there is activity and synaptic growth. Our brain changes in the process of writing. Your thinking will become better, I hope. That is the purpose of a first draft. So you move your paragraphs around. And then you put your graphs, your charts, your visual data, because visual data is so important. You know that because you were my third year students, and we learned how to avoid the PowerPoint of death. So I look for a rough draft. And in the final draft, of course, I look for the visuals. Do they connect to the paragraphs? On top, on bottom, by the side, doesn't matter. I looked how connected things are. And yes, your task is summarize. But are you telling a story? Yeah. Addition. Is this summary a logical narrative that communicates information in a progression from introduction to conclusion? And so it's party time.